Usually with ALL, the treatment process is like 2.5 years because it's not very aggressive. And originally you have like chemo for like, I think like 2 weeks, and then you just have chemotherapy for like once a month for like 2.5 years. And then, but if you have AML, the cancer is way more aggressive. So you have to spend like roughly a month in the hospital at a time going through intense chemotherapy. And so that's what I had to do. So I had my first round of chemotherapy, which just knocks down all your counts in your blood. So you're very immunocompromised. You can't fight anything. So anytime nurses or your family members or your friends walk in, they hand sanitize their hands. They have to wear masks. They're not really supposed to like touch you or anything. If they're sick or have been sick, they don't want you there at all. They're not allowed to be there. So once your counts are knocked down, they take roughly about 3 weeks to pick back up, which is why you're in a month in the hospital, about a week of chemo, then like 3 weeks to recover. And then Riley gives their patients like a week to 10 days of a break. It's a mental break too, and it's just like nice to go home and see your family again and friends again and kind of like be a normal person. And so I repeated that process a total of 3 times. And then after my 3rd time, we decided to get a bone marrow transplant. And that's when they use very intensive chemotherapy to completely knock out your bone marrow like it's never gonna come back, and you're basically an eggshell. And so then you have your bone marrow transplant, which is actually just like a blood transfusion. It's just just imagine a very darkish red liquid, basically, that can raise your blood pressure really high. And they do it really slowly compared to a blood transfusion. And so once I get that, it's basically just a waiting process and hoping like your body takes the new bone marrow.